Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
Yeah, Derek. Welcome to the Save Our Golf Podcast.
I'm back. We are currently in episode 152. This is Dom, obviously, who's always here.
I only missed one.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you had to call me to see how my computer worked.
I had to figure that out, but we made it work. We have a very special guest today. We have Vicente with Campo Golf Co, Latino heritage-inspired brand representing culture through design. Make sure to give them a follow on Instagram. Their user handle is at Campo Golf Co. Vicente, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, man.
Thanks, Derek. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you, man. I love the hat. I will say I'm a big hat guy. So is Dom. But like, as far as like the quality, I mean, got the skull right here. It's very breathable, lightweight.
I don't wear hats on the pod. I just feel like it like shades half my head, and then I feel like it's just a mess.
He likes to show off the flow.
Well, every time I wear a hat,
I have a short forehead too, so it kind of covers in pretty deep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a lot of hair. So
you do. When are we going to get that trimmed?
I want to go back. Do you remember when it was like shoulder length?
Yeah.
I want to do that. It's been like a calling lately. That sidetracked. I know you don't have all this going on.
Yeah, I don't have that luxury, unfortunately. I'm on the other side.
Damn, dude, I'll make you a wig. You want blonde hair?
Take some down.
Yeah, if you want to donate some over here, I'll take it.
Fuck
I can do a come over.
So I've been having weird issues with like matting lately. So it's like my hair just like wants to like become a big old dread. And I don't want that.
Do you think it's because like the humidity out there, so it's still so warm?
That and like a combination of my hair being super thick.
Yeah.
I literally like every morning have to wake up and then like undo all the knots. It's a thing.
You gotta start sleeping in the bun like my wife does, like everything all wrapped up.
I don't do that. No, listen, I grew this. I'm gonna let it down. I'm gonna show it off. Some of my favorite looks that I've had has been more shoulder length, and that kind of eliminates this. So I just got to schedule a time with my stylist, and then she can yell at me for not going in like 2 years. And
it's been a while.
You can definitely rock something like Neil Shipley. I think that you could definitely do a move like that.
Don't tempt me. Everyone's like, Dom, do a mullet. And I'm like, no,
that would be badass.
That's not. That's
you
not.
can do it for a quick couple of days.
I'm not a mullet.
I'm not with a mullet and like the Canadian tuxedo, just the freaking.
Okay, that'd be kind of cool.
Jean cut off shirt.
There you go.
I feel like the insulated like vest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted dreads when I was in high school, though. That's a true fact.
I could see it.
Good thing I didn't.
But anyway, this show is about you. So let's just dive right into it here. Like, what inspired you to start a golf brand, and how long has this brand been in existence?
Yeah, so I started Campo just this past year. So I'd say maybe 5-6 months ago. And the intention was, as I was getting more into playing, I saw that there wasn't much representation from Latino brands. And this is prior to me discovering now the bigger community that's grown, and just make a place where I can make something of value that brings my previous heritage from Mexico over and be in a representation on the course not through just personality, but through what you wear. And granted, I've started with the hats, as you can see, and that's the name that I picked for it. But the intention is to eventually grow it to where I can bring original attire that was regional for Mexico and put it into play like in the course. So it shows somewhat of representation from different regions and cultures, so that we don't forget what our ancestors dressed like, but be able to rock it, just be comfortably. That's
amazing. So how'd you decide to come up with the name of the company? And if you, just for people that don't understand, because we obviously were talking about before, but like, can you just kind of describe what the meaning is to you and again, kind of how you came up with it?
Sure. Yeah, so Campo came up with it. It's a by definition, two definitions to it. One is in literal terms, it means like a countryside, a field, or a course. But in Spanish terms, or something I can't say if it's truly Mexican, but in Spanish slang, it's Campo means maybe some space. So the phrase is "hazme campo," which means give me some space, make some room for me, and that's what I would like to see be part of the game and be more inclusive. We want to make sure that not only us as a brand, but as a culture, we make it more inclusive for all to be part of the game. So I feel like we can always make space for someone else to be part of the game and grow the space.
For sure. And I mean, where do you think it's like, as far as like the Latino heritage, the culture itself? I mean, just in golf in general. I mean, obviously we have as far as the group chat and all that stuff. Like we're pretty big in the community, especially in the
They have like
California.
adopted me
Yeah.
of all people.
Yeah, and that's part of exactly right. Like I know it's Miklo over here, so I caught that on.
Yeah.
But I think that's typical of Latino culture being very warm and welcoming, and it's always being part of like, hey, if you're one of us, you're part of the family, and you're going to be sticking around with us at all times. We don't take it for judgment for any case. As long as you want to be part of us and you want to be included, by all means, you've been part of it with us.
And I think that's my favorite part. I didn't really know about a lot of that till we had our original shindig. I was walking around. I had two big boy Modelos in my hands. I think I had like two 40s essentially. And
we should have did Edward 40 hands with you,
dude.
That would have been sick.
Basically, I got two big boy Modelos, and I ended up playing because somebody did go home early, and I'd been drinking all day. And we get to this hole where there's a backup, and I'm like chilling. I got my Modelos. We're listening to music. Then I hear Dom. And I'm like, who the hell is yelling for me? And it's Ralph and Raul, like a few carts back, and they're like, bro, what are you drinking? I'm like, Modelos. And they're like, how many of those have you had? I'm like, I think this is 5, this is 6 or something. And they go, when you come to the carne asada, I'm like, bro, when? Like, tell me when, tell me where. I'm there. So ever since then, it's kind of been just like, Dom's one of them.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's the little moments that create part of that inclusivity. Like, as long as you show the part of being welcome, hey, you're going to be part of the party at any given time.
And I think that's like the beautiful part that people don't get to see, right? Like, we've had really cool opportunities to work with all these different brands. Some are Latino owned, some aren't, obviously, but like, we've had John from Buena Gente on, and I have yet to meet anybody to have anything negative to say about John.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a chance to chat with John a couple times, and he's a great person.
John's a great.
What he's doing is amazing.
I've had this on my water bottle since he sent it over.
I need to get that ring.
That ring is sick.
That's a dope ring.
But like,
that's a sick ring.
He does such a good job really opening up his design philosophy. Hey, this is based off of my uncle. Hey, this is based off of this. And I think stuff like that is a really interesting look into the Latino culture, Latino heritage, especially in the golf world, where I feel like it's predominantly white. Well, I shouldn't say I feel like it's predominantly white. It is predominantly white.
Yeah, it has been for the most part.
But now there's all these cool brands coming out of everywhere where, like you, Ralph and Raul, Buena Gente, Lalo, it goes on and on and on. And everybody's story is so personal and interesting, but it all ties back to just being Latino and the heritage. And I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah. And I guess the other part is that something that reminds me of my heritage too is my father-in-law. He used to work the same strawberry fields no more than 5 miles away from where I live. And those are called campos, the campos of strawberries. So that's part of the name is why I picked, because it brings it back to so close to home how it is of my life and how we used to have in our heritage of working the fields, being part of it, and now transitioning to I want to be on the green fields, not just the strawberry fields, and a part of the farmland. So I think now, as you say, having that conversation to have all these brands uprise and be part of the space to now be included is so refreshing to see, because there's being more variety and more flavor, as Ralph and Los Golferos say, we're bringing the chile and the spice into the game, is so much more of a creative process, because now you have such variety of tire and culture, and the ambiance that it creates is a lot more fun to be part of.
When did you actually pick up the game of golf? When did you start playing?
I learned to play golf, maybe I was like 12, 13 years old. My parents took me to like a mini session at a course. At the time, I definitely felt like I didn't belong just because of the nature. I was one of the Latino kids there, and I was learning with my little brother, who was a year old. They brought him a mini club. And I remember when I was there, I took a swing and I was so nervous to play, it just slipped out. And those typical videos where it just launches out. Yep. That was me. And after that session, I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I'm not going to be playing this. So I spent a lot of time not touching it, just because I was so stuck to soccer and the typical Latino Mexican games. In the past few years, I had tore my ACL playing. And at that point, I thought, I need to find something that's a little more a part of my recreation that I won't burned my other knee too. And naturally, like everyone else, COVID hit, and I started seeing back of the interest in the game. And I thought, okay, maybe I can give it a try again after so many years that I said I didn't really belong. And now I feel even more included now, not just like the golferos and all the brands that are coming up in Latinos, but now seeing my friends that are all mostly Hispanic and Latino playing the game, I definitely felt like it was more of a time to be in the game and be part of it.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. The nice thing about golf too is kind of going back to the ACL thing. It's like for the most part, you can play golf pretty much your whole life. I mean, obviously depending on certain injuries, but it's a lot less physically demanding. Yeah, when you tear the ACL, that's
Do you remember that video we made and never posted of me throwing that golf club at the driving range in the winter?
Yes, that was for a DraftKings. A DraftKings deal back in
I forgot about that. I launched that club and it was in the middle of winter, so it's like nobody's playing golf anyways here because it snows here.
Yeah, right, a lot.
And Derek's like, okay, just swing normal, but then like just throw your club a little bit. And I overcommitted. I threw it, and we're both just like, where did you throw your club? And I'm like, it's somewhere over there. We had to find it, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah, so don't feel so bad.
I don't think I've thrown a club since, though.
I mean, I have flashbacks of it since I was a kid. It was so long ago, just the embarrassment of it. But now I'm like, you know what? I've seen enough videos of it. It's happened to so many people. It's going to happen again at some point. So
at least you didn't go viral for it or something, you know?
No, luckily there wasn't social media at the time. Thank goodness. But it would have been bad.
There's a video of everyone yelling 4 and then me looking up. So I'm like, where is it?
Asking it to come to you at that point.
Yeah, so it pans over. Everyone's like ducking, and I'm just like, where is it?
Oh, man.
And then I dropped a dart.
Then you dropped a dart.
I dropped a dart.
There you go.
So you have the hats here. So you have 2 different colorways at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So black, white, and black.
Damn, I feel bad for not wearing mine, and you guys both wearing the white ones.
It's all good.
Damn.
Good. So can you kind of just maybe talk a little bit about what was your first piece that you launched as far as products? I know you have ball markers, you have the tees and all that. Can you just kind of go in detail of
which, by the way, that ball marker, that's heavy.
Yeah, super.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah,
that could do some damage.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, it's fitting for the air, right? So right now, you're pretty mad. You just check that. But also, I'm right now. It's actually it plays into the part that we were discussing earlier about Dia de los Muertos. I did the packaging of it. I don't know if you saw it. It's like a frame with the cempasúchil. And that's in part of our heritage, right? So that's the part where you say, like, okay, how do we honor our ancestors through the past, and how do we remember our families? And that's through an altar that we place. So the ball marker was created with the idea that the skull is part of remembering the dead in the past. There you go. Yeah. And the packaging was with the thought of, okay, how can we represent that in a way that it plays on homage to our families? So probably making an altar and putting a picture of that family members, how you pay your respects and you remember your past. And that's what I wanted to visualize with the way I represented that ball marker. So it's a remembrance of our history, but also it's a place to remember where you dropped your ball and when you're sharing the court with the greens with 2 other people.
I feel bad opening it. Like I really did. Because I'm like, this is so like I'm always a fan of when people take that extra step and then you do that little bit of thing when it's your merchandising and, you're telling the story. It's not like a Ziploc either. So you can't save it. It's like a rip it in.
It's cool. Like the whole like thought process from like for people that are like watching on YouTube, because I know it's like, but like you said, the picture frame deal. Like not just the ball marker itself, but from the package, there was obviously a thought process and that
reminded me of Coco.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, which
that's a good way to visualize it. Yeah, it's a relative symbolism to it.
That's what you should watch on the plane to Mexico. You should watch Coco.
I might. I've watched it a lot of times. It's a great movie.
That way, you're like, you know what you're doing.
I'm ready to go. So kind of going back to this.
You can watch Blood In, Blood Out while you're.
Yes. That's a classic. You can't forget that one. To answer your question, sorry, I totally sidetracked on that. But to answer your question, the first product I launched was the black hat. And I call it the sombra because in Spanish it means shadow, went the dark color. And I just did that because I feel like it's typical to start with some kind of design that's easily recognizable. So I wanted to be just the printing on the front, made it recognize the name. the skull on the back on the side really resonates in the black with the outline white, so you can kind of see more vividly what it is. And I got good feedback from it. And I think that understanding what it is and what it represents was a good way to get more of an interaction. And I feel like there's been very positive feedback so far on what it represents, and I appreciate those that contributed to that.
I'm a snob for a nice golf hat, so I mean I'll be definitely rocking this on the course. Don't worry. Or just I mean honestly, just in general, I like to wear. It's always nice to find a hat that you can wear on and off the course.
Right.
And again, kind of going back to like I like wearing hats too that kind of tell a story. Like, it's like, hey, what does that mean? And then like, well, now I got you on the podcast. We're asking the questions. So now I can actually tell your story a little better. Right?
Well, that's why I didn't like I was ready to buy one, and I'm like, hey, I don't want to like buy it, and then somebody be like, what's that hat mean? And I'm like, hold on, let me Google it quick. Yeah. And it's like field. I'm just like, well, like the
when you think of it that way, it's totally different than what the actual meaning is.
And I'm like, there's definitely more to it than this. So I wanted to reach out and ask. Yeah. Also, why is the C so big? Like, is there a story with that?
No, there's no particular story. I think I just did capitalize it, and I like how it looked, and
it does look good. I was thinking like there was some like story behind the design and everything. And
in my first mock-ups, I kind of tried to do something with the C and a ball, like an actual ball in there. I didn't like how it looks, but I stuck with the text, and I was like, I like the bigger C as it comes in. I started playing with just the like an acronym. Like I tried doing just CGC and how it represent and like visualize, and I thought, like the capital C looks okay like that. I'm gonna stick with it
for sure.
That's the black one.
Yeah, I like that. So going back to the other question I mentioned earlier, do you plan on releasing any other colors at all as far as the way
in regards to hats? Right I don't think I have anything else that I want to do in hats. I want to do more of the attire. So whether it be like a hoodie of like a typical style from Mexican style, or maybe something into polos. It's probably similar to other individuals, but I want to take it into approach where the design is typical to what maybe like a mariachi would wear, or something of a regional area that's typical of that. So that's I'm still working on some development to get that created and some samples run out. But yeah, I think the next step would be to kind of branch it to separate different clothing pieces first, instead of coming back to hats. If anything, I'll probably make them like a hard front, because I know that I did the soft front, so it's more comfortable for now.
Yeah,
maybe I'll do something with a hard cap.
I'm like going back to being the hat snob. Like I'm pretty picky, but I'm like I like a wide variety of different hats. But I run a lot too, so like I feel like this is like one of those hats where like it's very like universal.
Yeah,
like it's breathable.
I chose the softness because I feel like sometimes here, at least in California, it gets pretty hot, and having that hard front makes you more sweaty and makes it uncomfortable because it gets itchy, right? So I had to do a couple of test runs to make sure, I don't know if I highlight the firmness in the front of the hat while I'm playing around, because being in the middle of the sun, being out here at 80, 85 degrees, sometimes 90, it starts to itch, especially with my bald head, because I get really sweaty there. So that's the reason why I went with the soft build.
Gotcha. And what was the first product that you released? Was it the ball marker, the hats? Did you release them all at once?
No, it was a hat at first, the black hat, and then I did this one, and then I kind of did the white hat in tandem with the markers.
Okay. And then so which is your personal favorite as far as the hat? So I know you only have the two colorways, but I know you're wearing the white right now, but do you have like a personal preference as far as, or just depends on the day what you're feeling?
I usually wear black because I'm used to stuck to more darker colors. I think white one is when I wear it for hotter days. Well, right now it's starting to get cold. Ironically, we're getting some rain this coming week, so I'll probably stick to my black hat again. But yeah, I usually, if I can reflect more sun with the white hat, by all means I will. So I don't want to absorb more heat on my skull. But yeah.
Okay, so what like is the design process? I know you talk about, like Dom had mentioned, like the C. Did it take you a long time to find the vision of like, hey, this is the name of the brand, this is what this is what I want? Was there a clear like that's it, or did it take you a while to really start, like did you have a couple other names before you actually launched Campo Golf?
The name came pretty organically when I first had the idea, just because I was like, I want to be in the space. I want to be something, or create something that's in the space that speaks for my culture. And I was like, okay, well, space and campo, okay, that kind of goes into play. And then I was like, okay, well, campo also means forest, so I figured why not run with that, and I think that was kind of the organic process of coming up with the name. Whereas the text and the logo, that took a little bit longer. I think the name came first, and I started going with just the generic like golf ball style. But I didn't like how it didn't represent something from my past. And the skull, as you see, is something that is a simple yet minimalist style, but it still tells a story from where it came from. That's typical to my heritage of the Kalaka and remembering the past.
Sure. Go ahead.
You know what's funny? I've always loved, like, even when I was little, like sugar skulls. I don't know why. I think it was like the colors, even though knowing like what it represented back in the day. I've never actually owned anything that has a sugar skull on it until this hat. So I feel like it's very like full circle for me. I've always enjoyed like the colors, and as I learned more about what they represented, I loved that aspect of it. Um, but this is like the first time I've actually owned anything that has to do with a sugar skull or has a skull on it.
There we go.
It's like it.
Nice.
I don't know. It feels very full circle, and I don't know why, but like it's just like those little things in life, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't know why I just kind of popped. I'm just like, damn.
No, but it's a good story because it reminds you of like, okay, well, where did I see this? And now kind of putting the pieces together from what you've learned kind of makes more sense. So I totally get that. It's not a pop of the thing head. You got it.
If you could collaborate with any designer, golfer, or brand, who or what would it be?
Ooh, designer. I think it might be a little controversial to say, but Malbon, because they're breaking the barrier of typical styles. They're
really controversial at this point?
I guess not.
I feel like a lot of people we've asked are just like
typical snob. Yeah. Just because they were the frontiers to kind of break that barrier of typical style and apparel, right? And I think that's one of the champions of what the rest of us are trying to deliver. And having that opportunity with a brand that's kind of started from scratch and kind of build that platform would be a phenomenal opportunity.
That would be pretty cool. So kind of piggyback off that question. Would you want to do like a hat, shirt? Like what would you?
I would prefer to do something it's like somewhat streetwear.
Sure.
So, for example, like something I would visualize is, you know how charros, like Mexican singers, they have this big jacket. Mm-hmm. If we could have something like that was like a windbreaker type, but like the really like embroidered design, I think that would be pretty dope too. Yeah.
That'd be really cool. I know. I feel like Jason Day took a lot of heat for his like Malbon attire, like in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, like everyone started actually like.
I feel like the only people that gave him heat were the purists.
There was a lot of it. Yeah, they're like, who is this guy and why is he wearing this? And I mean, everyone else I think thought it was really cool. And again, like you said, like Malbon has been one of the few that have really paved the way to break barriers of like, hey, streetwear, golf. We could be all one, you know, it doesn't have to be just one or the other. So,
right.
But yeah, I feel like he did take a lot of, there was a lot of like memes.
Oh, absolutely. He got so much hate that first week that he wore it. It was like, okay, here it comes. But as anything, once it starts to get enough traction and goes viral, it starts to turn the needle, right? It's like, okay, I'm going from hate to I can appreciate that. Now I can rock it. And it's fully welcome at this point.
For sure. No, that would be really cool. I agree. I'm pretty optimistic too. I feel like there's a lot more companies out there, not just the companies, but entrepreneurs like yourself that are really breaking that barrier to like, hey, it's okay to just be yourself or be true to like your culture, or you know what I mean? Like and we've had this conversation multiple times where it's like, it's really cool to like hear the story. And I feel like people can gravitate towards that and actually respect it and want to like Paré Golf, for example, with Maddie.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, you know, some of these guys have like really like put their culture and everything behind it, and people are really, really, you know, stand behind it and enjoy it. And
speaking of Paré, we're going to get back to Campo, but they just had their little 1 year pop-up event. Shout out Maddie.
Yep.
Congrats, big dog.
Yeah, he's awesome. So congrats to Maddie.
Yeah. It's funny because we're gonna do a collab. I haven't told you yet, but it's gonna be Save Paré.
You were mentioning that, we haven't talked.
We haven't set it up yet, but we're gonna do our first collab with Maddie.
It'd be cool.
Yeah,
Maddie's awesome. But yeah, just going back to that, I feel like people are starting to like it's not this stuffy white person sport no longer where you have to wear your.
Hopefully not anymore.
Yeah,
it's trending the direction to not be, which is a beautiful thing. Damn,
I think
stuffy old people suck.
Yeah, I think the help with Malbon though, like being able to sign. Now he just signed a former Nike executive as he's
The
like
head
CEO type of deal. Yeah,
that's big. That's awesome for them.
Very big, and I think that will definitely make a splash in the golf space as far as professional golfers, like tour golfers. So,
he's got Jason Day. I know. I think GG sponsored.
GG sponsored. Yep. So they do. I think they do a lot of stuff with Is it Evian? Is it Evian the water? It's like
I think Evian.
Like a major sport
really
in the LPGA.
Water, yeah.
I don't really drink it, but it's an LPGA.
You and your Target water. I know you don't even drink that. It's too good.
No. I drink any water. My wife is Aquafina only, dude. It's the weirdest thing ever. She's Aquafina, but I drink whatever.
Tap water. I'm a heathen.
Minneapolis actually known to have the best city water.
I don't live in Minneapolis.
No, but I'm saying like I like.
So there was actually a time, not too long ago, where the water by me got contaminated, and my parents never told me not to drink it.
Do you have well water?
No.
Okay.
It's from the city. I only found out because my friends are like, "Hey, did you drink any water today?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Don't." And I was like, "Oh,
I'm gonna get sick."
Yeah. Well, my parents never told me. They're just like, "Yeah, he'll figure it out.
It'll pass by eventually."
Yeah. If he gets sick, he gets sick. I'm just like, well, shit.
Okay, I did have a question for you. So you posted on your Instagram. So was it the Dia de los Mulligans event?
Right.
Were you at the event?
I wasn't. So my wife is about 7 months pregnant right now, and I have a toddler. So it's
congrats.
I'm going. Thank you, appreciate it. So I've been very, very busy lately with trying to keep the family down. So I was given the opportunity to be able to donate some markers to all the players out there. So awesome. I figured it was like, it fits the community, fits what they're trying to support with the foundation of La Colonia and the Eden Garden out there. And I think that with what I have in my culture and what the brand represents, I figured, okay, I can give it to those players and what it means to them. And given it's a Dia de los Muertos, I was like, okay, this is a match made in heaven type of situation where we have collectible markers for Dia de los Mulligans. It's almost a Dia de los Muertos for a Latino family foundation. So I thought that's just a perfect blend.
No, that's really cool. The reason why I asked is because I know I think I saw a Instagram reel on your page with the was the Happy Gilmore jersey.
Yeah, so that's not me. No, okay. that's a representative for the Dia de los Mulligans. I think that's their character. That's pretty cool. I mean, if I can get it,
how do we get a representative?
That's really cool. So I followed that because before you and Los Golferos posted about it, I wasn't aware of it. But I know one of the videos that I said was on your Instagram. I thought it was you because it was on your reel, but maybe you tagged somebody else, so I wasn't sure. But I think there was like 2 or 3 people that were wearing the jersey, but I saw the one guy going crazy in the event. I'm like, that's super cool. So I was like, well, maybe it's you, maybe it's not. I don't know. I figured I'd ask.
No, I mean, that's not me. I wish that was me, but I want to get one of those jerseys. That's a pretty dope jersey.
This is super dope.
That event looks super cool.
Yeah. So I know you obviously donated the ball markers for everyone that participated, but can you walk us through, because it's a charity event, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah. So it's a charity event. It's for the La Colonia Community Foundation, which supports a local area called the Eden Gardens. And it was an area in San Diego that was built for local farmers back in the day. So in that area, it was a specific area designated for Mexican and Latino families that would live out there and support the local farmland near Solana Beach. And so this community has gone back this foundation has gone back to support that community of underrepresented Latinos to help them get more resources and more advocate for them when there's when they have some challenges. And I think that opportunity to be able to support a foundation that really helps farmers and what they call campesinos in Spanish, really, really was resonated with what we had in mind here. And I think that's a great cause for what they were supporting.
That's amazing. Do you participate in any other like events, or have you done any
not
other
yet.
Events in the past? Not yet.
No, not yet. I mean, granted that I started the brand not too long ago. I think that's where I want to target to be. There's obviously a lot of other larger community events that happen, like Raza Golf that happened a few months ago. That's another big tournament that happens. But I think with time comes, as the brand grows, we'll definitely be in more of those tournaments.
Sure.
Are you in SoCal?
I am. I'm in Orange County, so I'm smack dab in the middle of LA and San Diego. So I kind of visit both ways.
Where do we have the event for you?
Yeah, we got an event next year.
That's what I was hinting at.
Yeah. No, I know.
There you go.
I was aware. I was just giving him a little lecture.
The local Roger Dunn is maybe like 2 miles away from me. So if you ever need a fitting, come by and we'll drive over.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's going to be in Pasadena.
Sweet.
Yeah. How far is that from you from there?
From me, it is about
you from there, from everywhere.
Pasadena for me is about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
That's not bad.
Traffic. Yeah.
English, Derek. English.
I'm rusty, you know, it's been a couple
From
weeks.
What?
In any case.
You missed a week.
A week, it makes a big difference.
But that's your fault.
Like, kinda. I mean, kinda, yes. I wish I didn't have to work full time, so I could just do this.
What are you saying? I don't work full time?
I hear you.
You do, but I mean, I was, it's corporate events or something I couldn't miss. But in any case, where would you like to see Campo Golf in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think that if we are able to grow to support something of a representation of local golf courses, be at least in those golf courses that has some Latinos or predominantly Latino population in them, so that they can bring more players in, that would be ideal. And I think at some point, if I could contribute back to my local high school and maybe start some type of golf team, because in Santa Ana, where I'm from, not a single high school has a golf team, at least from the public school system. So I think that if we could do something in which we could implement a team, at least to our local school district, that would be ideal to kind of grow the game and make it more inclusive for other generations of other people.
That's awesome.
It's the stuffy white people that ruined it.
Stuffy white people is correct. Good people. Is there anything that maybe
white people?
Is there anything that we might have missed that you might want to mention or talk about?
No, I think you covered everything in regards to what we represent and what the intention is. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with me about it and learn more about the brand. I think that's very appreciative, and having that a conversation to spark up is definitely valuable to other brands that are still growing out there and being part of the golf space.
Absolutely. We do usually ask, or at least I do, as far as like entrepreneur, like if there's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody who's looking to start a business, whether it's in the golf space or just elsewhere, like what's one piece of advice you'd give them? I
think, and by all means, I'm not a serial entrepreneur or anything. I'm a software engineer by day. So this is my side opportunity that I hopefully become growth. I think it's knowing the market that you're getting into. I think that's a big key factor. It might be really saturated market like golf is, but there's niches in it that kind of, there's definitely a lot of value. And in this case, I think that something that represents me is something important. So having a niche that speaks to you and you know the market well enough to be able to have a conversation about is very key.
It's a great answer. I like that. Because like you said, golf is such it's a huge space, but there's so many apparel companies, brands. But like you said, when you tell a story, people can really get behind that. So
and everybody wants to be Nike. Everybody wants to be Adidas. Nobody wants to be themselves anymore, which I feel like is such a shame. Because like we've been talking about the whole time, there's so many great stories within golf, within everybody's own community, company. You don't want to be Nike. You want to be Campo. You want to do this or that. And I feel like that's what gets lost in translations when it comes to newer.
They just want to be a big company that sells a bunch of stuff, but it's really their story gets kind of lost.
Well, and like a great example is like Chaz is like, bro, let's be good. I'm like, why would we want to be good? Why can't we do something our own way? Like we're not trying to be Foreplay or like any of those other big golf podcasts.
You can take some ideas from them, but we're not trying to be.
No, I don't want to be that big. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
No,
you lose grasp of what you started. It doesn't become yours at that point.
Exactly. And I feel like companies like that you can't reach out to, and you're gonna get like a robot DM, and it's like
automated message.
Yeah, it's like you should want to be yourself and grow organically. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs don't do that anymore. I've always heard like, man, if you don't have something pop off in like 3 to 5 months, you should start over. And it's like, why? If you're having fun and you're growing a community, who cares?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna take it slow. I mean, as I shared, my family's growing. I'm super busy with that. I'm growing this as I can. Sometimes I pack orders at 11:30 midnight just because that's the only time I have to be able to send them out. But I take it at the pace that I can, and I'm not in a rush to make this, to your point, a massive company. This is something that's going to be homegrown and home kept to make sure that it represents its true nature.
Sure. No, that's great. Well, if you kind of covered everything, let's do a couple rapid fire questions. The first one here is, what would be your walk-up song? So we're having this event next summer.
Whole one of the shindig.
Everyone's there having a blast.
Which we're trying to do walk-up songs, funny enough.
Yep.
What is your walk-up song?
I would say my song is Tiene Espinas el Rosal, and I'll have to play it for you guys. It's a very cumbia song, and it goes beep, 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 beep. And that's very typical of cumbias in Mexico City, where my family's from. Okay. So cumbias are very, very hot, very, very danceable, and it gets very catchy. So I think that song would make me kind of vibe and let loose, and maybe open up some other people to be more comfortable in the first round, because you always get the jitters in the first hole. I think that's a good way to break the ice.
For sure. And I think that we kind of had that discussion too about the first one with the walk-up song. It's like it takes a little bit of pressure off of everyone, just trying to have a good time. Unless you pick a terrible song, and then there's maybe a little bit added pressure to it. But
right. I mean, I could go Wu-Tang or something like that, but that'd be a little too heavy,
Yeah. I mean, Wu-Tang would be cool.
Wu-Tang would slap. But I like that. That's awesome.
We have a big group chat, and a couple weeks ago, I saw a bumper sticker, and it said "Nothing is forever except for Wu-Tang."
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
All right, Dom, you can ask whatever question, and I'll let you ask the food question too, because I didn't really come up with a whole lot of them. So
I like how you're like, you can ask whatever question and the food question. There's only two.
Yeah, one of those two. I'm gonna ask the next. I don't have a whole lot of options.
So okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What's your favorite non-golf Instagram account?
Non-golf Instagram account. There's one that's really funny called Fuckboy Problems. I think that kind of the kind of memes that they throw up. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. But
we need a good laugh.
Just comedy. Yeah.
My favorite one is kids getting hurt.
I still don't think
that one's funny too.
Well, and Jess was like giggling about it last week, and she's like showing it to me, and she's like, "You already liked this one." I'm like, "I did."
It's painful to watch that with a 2-year-old. I gotta say, like, when I see that have kids happening, I'm like, oh no, it hurts me.
Yeah, it hits a little bit more closer to home for you.
It does, yeah.
This kid had the slingshot, and I think it was like an orange, and it went
right back.
Boom! And I'm like,
I saw that one. Yeah.
I'm like, what a dummy.
All right, so you're playing golf. What's your favorite like snack or beverage on the court? Like, what's your go-to when you're playing golf? Like, if you're playing just a big regular 18 holes.
Something easy to grab. I think a burrito. If I can grab a burrito and just kind of walk it through. Anything else, I don't want it to fall apart on me. I don't want it to break off. But if I have a decent burrito, I think that'll be dope.
Could you imagine just golfing with like a big ass like Chipotle burrito?
That'd be amazing.
That on itself would fall apart. So I don't think it could even go with that.
See, not if you double tortilla it though, because then that shit don't move.
I've never done that. I should try that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do that.
It's only like 780 calories just from the tortillas, but it's worth it if you're playing golf. So do I.
That'll get you through the day. That's enough calories to burn through.
Tortilla, yeah.
There you go.
I will ask one more. Are you a sneakerhead by any chance?
I was, and I had to go lay off of it a bit just because I have to focus more on my kid. But I used to collect quite a bit of different Adidas and Nikes.
Internally, you never lay off.
Yeah, once you're like,
I can't. I admire from afar now.
Yeah. So
I got some Solomons that were delivered today. I haven't seen them yet, but they're like the Aurora Borealis, because Ralph is like, bro, my brother needs these boots, and I'm like, Raul, do you need anything from Solomon? He's like, don't twist my arm. I'm like, sick. I'm gonna get something next time. I don't feel bad.
So you ordered something for yourself because you're ordering.
So I got an XT4 OG and Aurora Borealis. They are going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see them when I get home.
I picked up.
Are you really posing in the mirror?
Of course I am. These.
That's an old man shoe.
Yeah, well, I'm old. I'm 35. Legit. What are they? The New Balance 1905s, I think, something.
That's when they came out.
Seriously,
I was shooting down New Balance for so long, and then I had a really bad plantar fasciitis due to my age. And I got these like super cushy New Balance, like there's like foam runner looking ones, you know. And I haven't looked back. I saw them and I was like, I'm sticking with these. I can walk for days with these comfortable shoes, and I just can't go back to the flat Air Force Ones and like that.
So I work with New Balance. I can say stuff like that because it's like I understand. You know, like the 1080, phenomenal shoe. 880 is great. The new 860 is great. But that is an old man shoe.
It's a sweet shoe.
The gray.
I like it with the brown. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Not really with the lighting, you can't really see it very good. But they're dark gray with the tan. But they were on sale, so I was like,
there you go. Hey, that's what you're buying. This is sale stuff.
Yeah.
It's so comfortable.
Yeah, they're not on your feet. They're on my feet, home slice.
You're never gonna wear them.
I wore them today.
In the mirror.
There you go.
No, that was last night. I thought you wore them today. No, I'm wearing them in Mexico, actually.
Are you?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, old white man.
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Hey, you're trying to fit in. It's okay.
I'm trying to fit in a little
That
bit.
way they don't hit on you.
Yeah, I'm married, so I can't get it. Yeah.
She'll stab everybody, dude.
Oh.
All right. So last question. We always end this podcast with a food related question. Don,
So this is cool because we're gonna be in your neck of the woods eventually here.
Yep.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Where are we going? Because we like to eat. I love to eat. Derek likes to eat, but I live for food. Derek lives because he has a wife. I would die for food though. So breakfast, lunch, dinner.
So there's this, if we're sticking to the burrito theme, there's this place called Nate's Corner. Drag Club, not too far away from me. They have these like, they put Chipotle to shame, just how big the burritos are, and they're freaking delicious. So that's your breakfast spot for sure.
Is it like a breakfast burrito, or are we just going straight into like burritos for breakfast?
No, these are breakfast burritos, and they have different varieties from like chorizo, bacon, sausage. They have all types of burritos there. You make it however you want. It's really, really good.
I still think the best breakfast burrito I've ever had was at Half Moon Bay.
I wish I would have tried it.
That was a good ass burrito.
Yeah.
What was the place called? Something Corner?
Nate's Corner.
Nate's Corner.
Okay.
I was going to say Half Moon Bay.
Okay, so we're eating that for breakfast or lunch or dinner, but for breakfast.
No, for
Where are we going
breakfast.
for lunch?
You can have that breakfast for lunch, but for lunch, let's do. Let's see, what can we do for lunch? Kind of spacing on that one. What can I do? I'll get back to that. But for dinner, there's these food trucks that line up on the street close by, and they have queso birria tacos. They have corn on the cob. There's ambasas, which are basically fried sandwiches. You name whatever you want. They have everything lined up. So it's a buffet of food, and you can't go wrong with any choice there.
I'm going to go down the line and just tap my card at each one.
Taco trucks.
Sometimes I do that. I've done that before where like, I want something from here. I'll get to the next one. And then I have shrimp tacos over there. And then they have something else. And by the time I'm done, I'm like, I can't even walk to my car. It's bad.
Yeah.
And the best part is you get all that. It's probably like $20.
Yeah, it's really good food.
Oh.
All right, so going back to lunch, where are we going to lunch?
Could do. And I'm not opposed to it since the breakfast burrito is like a size of like a baby.
We could skip.
I'm not opposed to skipping lunch.
Then we can.
And you basically could. It's such a big burrito. You almost could skip lunch if you had it as a brunch type meal instead. You definitely don't want to have lunch because it's so big.
I normally eat breakfast around brunch time, anyways. I'm not a morning guy.
That's
like you give me that burrito at like 9 a.m. I'd be full until like
on a weekend for sure, but during the weekday I try to like not eat breakfast. I try to eat like
I've been doing overnight oats.
Have you?
And
I like overnight oats.
And I've been eating breakfast most days, and then it's been nice.
I like
getting into a routine.
Yeah, like there, I got a spot for lunch. So there's this place off the coast called Shake Shack, not the original Shake Shack, as you know, the big brand, but there's a local one in Newport, and they have really good shakes. The burgers are bomb. They have fries, and it's a really nice coastal view. So you have a good raft around. It's kind of close to where Monarch Beach is. So you have a good view after a round if you ever
like. I like Shake Shack, like the chain. I like Shake Shack.
It ain't Shake Shack the chain. It's another little hole in the wall, but it's really good. But it's always busy. Can't get parking there.
That means it's good.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we had for. I said I didn't have a whole lot of rapid fire questions, so I apologize on that. But hopefully we can link up next year. and continue the good work, man. I said I love the hat. It's dope. Really appreciate it. Ball marker, tees. Yeah, and when you drop some other stuff, let us know. We'd like to have you back on.
You got it. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, take
Peace.
care. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.